Alright, what's up y'all? Today we're going to do something different. I'm going to show you the basic setup for Vinyl Lab and how you would set it up so that you would scratch using time-coded vinyl, for example. Now I'm demoing this for Vinyl Lab, but it's the same for Livetronica Studio. And Vinyl Lab is a program that can be run as a plugin or a standalone. So I'm going to demo it first as a standalone, then we're going to open up Ableton and I'm going to show you how you would set this up in Ableton as well. So here it is running, and first thing you always want to do is check your sound card, make sure you're connected to the right sound card, to what you think you're connecting to. To do that in Vinyl Lab, you click on the audio button in the upper left. You can see that it's using, right now I'm using an external sound card called the Scarlett 18i, which is over here, but let's just switch it real quick back to the built-in. Alright, this is the standard. Usually the first thing you'd see is it's going to use the system device. So right now it's using the onboard, like on the computer microphone and the computer's output. You don't want it to use that. We want it to use the sound device because we have no way to get a turntable into here so easily. Meh. Alright, so that's all good. I'm using this sound device over here, which means I have to connect that to the turntable. So I've got the audio output routed from the turntable into the sound card. Now, let's take a look at the vinyl control panel here. This is the vinyl control panel, and as you can see right now, it says that both turntables are spinning. You see these little indicators down here indicating that they're just spinning at normal pace. If I were to tell it, hey, we need to use some time-coded vinyl, you'll notice it stops right away. And that's because it starts listening for time-coded vinyl. But of course we don't have anything connected or running yet, so it just stops. So I'm going to tell it I want to use, what is this, Serato, a Serato disc, and it's on mics 1 and 2 on the sound card. So I go to 1 and 2, and we're good. Let's hit play. Okay, now time-coded vinyl is just a solid tone. It's just a boo, and when you scratch, it goes woo, woo, woo. It moves around, and this software reads it. Okay, so we need to do a quick check and just make sure that we have a healthy signal coming in. As you can see from this indicator, it is a pretty healthy signal. If I stop the record, it dies off. There are 2 tests you want to do to make sure that you have this configured as well as you can for the incoming vinyl signal, right? One is you want to move the vinyl record very slowly. And if you move it very slowly, you'll notice that the signal gets pretty low. In this case, the signal's a little below my cutoff, so I'm going to just drop the cutoff a little bit so that even moving slow, it seems to register. And you'll notice the indicator will show me that it is indeed moving. You can also change the sharpness here. The sharpness just changes how quickly it kind of fades out so that it will use signals that are even weaker. The danger is that if you do too little sharpness or too low of cutoff, you'll see that when you hold the record still, it won't stay still. Okay, so we need to get our cutoff high enough that a still record is actually registering as still, and low enough that moving slowly, it's actually moving. And that should give us the optimum signal. So, done with that. Record's playing, everything's coming in, it appears to be working. Let's load up audio real quick just to double check, and then we'll change gears, go into Ableton and do the same thing. On turntable 2, I'm going to open up a track so I have a background, and we're going to pull up a sample, like the choir chord here. So these are our sample players. I've now loaded 2 tracks quickly, and if you hit play, they'll start to play. This one's just a clip, the other one's a full-length track. My clip is on turntable 1. Remember, turntable 1 is the one that I have mapped over here. So if I grab it, it should stop. And now we can test again. If we move slowly, make sure it moves. And also if we move quickly, right? Make sure it's got a good response. So that feels right to me. I'm ready to go. and you just start a track. You get the idea? We're in business. All right, now part 2. This is if you are running Vinyl Lab as a plugin. Okay, if you're running it inside of Ableton or something like that, you have to be able to route the audio to Vinyl Lab in such a way that the signal from our time-coded vinyl over here gets to the plugin. And in the case that we have 2 turntables, it gets a little complicated routing to the 3rd and 4th channels of the plugin. So I'm going to show you quickly how we do that. Okay, and here's Ableton. Cool. Here's Ableton, and under plugins, I'm going to start up the Vinyl Lab plugin. Okay, there it is. Now, I want this plugin to be on an audio track, not a MIDI track, because I want incoming audio immediately accessible right on the track. So you'll see on Ableton here, I'm going to just get rid of some of the extra stuff for now. You'll see on Ableton, I'm just going to rename this, turntable. You'll see in Ableton we have our inputs right here. So it is looking at inputs 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, and 3, 4 separately. Just like we did in the other program, you might want to double check your audio and make sure, yeah, I'm using the Focusrite Scarlett device over here. That's the one I want to use. And it says that my inputs, I have 4 of those that are active in Ableton. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Where's it going in? It's going in 1, 2. So if I select 1/2, that gives me 2 channels, left and right, channels 1 and 2. If I then hit play, so I have to turn on the monitor by clicking in, but if you do that, you'll see I'm going to disable the plugin. There is the signal from the time-coded vinyl going right into that track. So now what I have to do is configure it inside of Vinyl Lab. If I open up Vinyl Lab, and again we're going to click on the, let's just resize real quick. Again I'm going to click on the Vinyl In button. And it says what kind of vinyl is on turntable 1. So I'm going to tell it is Serato, but you'll notice it doesn't ask now what channels it's on. This is because in the plugin version it just uses channels 1 and 2 for turntable 1 and channels 3 and 4 for turntable 2. Okay, so what's coming in, the first 2 channels of the plugin, which is whatever's on the front of this panel, is being used for turntable 1. If you want a second turntable, you have to add a second audio track. Okay, this one's going to come from 3 and 4, we'll say. And then you need to route it. The output from that track has to go to the turntable track. This is what I called this first track. And you'll notice there's a secondary input, Vinyl 2. Vinyl 2 is your right-hand side turntable. So when you enable that, I'm going to set this to 1, 2, set this one to 3, 4. So now you'll notice I have 1 and 2 from the Scarlett coming into this secondary audio track, and then we bounce it over, we route it into the turntable, into the 2 auxiliary inputs, that's 3 and 4 on the plugin. If I then go back to the plugin, sorry, this is a little, I designed the UI all big. Here we go. Okay. If I then go back here, I can tell it, okay, never mind, turntable 1, we don't have anything, but turntable 2 now has the Serato on it. And you'll see now the signal is coming in through the 3 and 4 channels, which allows us to control turntable 2. So now it's exactly the same process where we load up a sample and control it just as before. The really cool thing about having it in Ableton is you can now record the output of this, you can record the automation, you can record a whole bunch of other stuff, and build a project right in Ableton. So you can add this to your recording projects. That's it. That's all we got. Keep checking it out. Thank you very much. And send me any questions you have or follow-ups for this video, anything else that's not working with you. I am dedicated to getting this to work for as many people as possible. Thanks.